Testing. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. All right, appreciate it, guys.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 875th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small bleep energy. It is Monday, October 10th of 2022. It is good to have you in today. As always, we are multi-streaming live simultaneously to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, MGTOW.TV, Manosphere.tv, DLive, Rumble, and of course in crystal clear high-resolution 4K to Sharpe stream, which is absolutely free on the App Store or the Google Play Store for, of course, iOS or Android. So however you're watching or if you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. That's right. This is the return of TSR Live. I've decided to go ahead. I've decided to start doing my live streams again. I enjoy them very much. I miss them very much, and I've been creative with my time. No, the hashtag How to Relationship podcast is not going anywhere. We will continue to do those on Saturday and Sunday evenings. By the way, Devin is still under the weather. She was under the weather for Saturday's HTR podcast, and Sunday she was worse. So we decided to skip Sunday's show, and she is even worse today. So I think she's probably got the flu or something. There's something going on, maybe an upper respiratory infection, whatever the case may be. But she's not doing too good, so she's downstairs with a hot bowl of soup and maybe a hot water bottle, on her head or something to that effect. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why the HTR hashtag How to Relationship podcast was not around yesterday. But we are going to be, I'm going to start doing my Donovan Sharpe TSR live streams again. It's going to be Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Obviously, I can't do them on Tuesdays because Tuesdays is bowling lights. Shout out to the snipers on the Sharpe stream side. I appreciate you guys' support. I've got Jay Blaze, Dre Raven, and Kyle 2020 who are all in the house. I also see Blazanity is there. Shout out, pardon me, to my sharpshooters on the YouTube side. I appreciate you guys all being in here. Quick announcements before we get started here. Be sure to like the video. If you like my channel, make sure you subscribe. If you have a strong opinion, whether you agree or not, drop me a comment and let me know what you think. And last but not least, share these videos with anyone who pees standing up if you think they could use this content. Also, like I said before, be sure to tune into the hashtag How to Relationship podcast, Saturday and Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the hashtag How to Relationship podcast, the lovely and talented Devin and I, we like to discuss current events pertaining to relationships from an RP perspective, as well as evergreen relationship topics that will help people have better relationships. We also talk about certain elements of our relationship to give you guys a little bit of insight on what makes us tick and what makes our relationship work. You can tune in every Saturday and Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is Saturday and Sunday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Donovan Sharpe YouTube channel. Also, like I said before, make sure you download the Sharpe Stream app. It is absolutely free. It is available for iOS or Android. When you download the app, you get access to all of my premium live content without paying a dime. My dating show breakdowns, exclusive streams, and everything else that is not safe for YouTube. This means you guys can watch all of my breakdowns of my dating shows, all my breakdowns of my movies, and so forth, and keep your greedy little hands on your money. However, if you want replays, as well as access to the archives of the more than 20 seasons of dating shows, and the 4 or 5 movies I think I've broken down, and over 30,000 hours of premium content not found anywhere else, become a Sharpe Stream member or a Patreon for less than 17 cents a day. As a Sharpe Stream member and or a patron, you also get access to the podcast versions of these live streams like this one, which is all the content without any of the small talk, any of the shilling, or me running my mouth about things you care nothing about. To sign up, go to sharpestream.com or patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Also, I will be dropping my very first interactive ebook entitled How to Properly Vet Women for Relationships. I was going to drop it tomorrow, but we decided to make it interactive, so we pushed the release back a few days. This is no ordinary ebook, gentlemen. This ebook is fully interactive, meaning that within the ebook, there will be a ton of audio and video supplements to the valuable information you're already going to get. There will also be links to additional audio and video supplements, which makes this the best ebook I've ever done. The best part is that it's only $13. That's right, guys, just $13, which is more than worth its weight in gold with all of the information packed within this interactive publication. If you want to be notified the second it drops, go to howtorelationship.net or the link in the description, plug in your very best email, and you'll get to enjoy the very first interactive ebook that will give you the kind of knowledge to avoid the kinds of women who can literally destroy your life. So be sure to get your hands on that this coming Friday. As always, I am going to open up the Zoom and the phone lines. If you want to call in or join the Zoom link, all I ask is two things. Number one, be respectful. You can have strong opinions, and we can certainly have a spirited and even contentious discussion, so long as we refrain from name-calling and personal insults about one another. Number two, if you're on the Zoom link, turn on your camera so that I can see your face during the entire discussion. If I cannot clearly see your face, I'm not bringing you on. Or if your face disappears but your voice doesn't, I will drop you off the Zoom call. So you trolls out there can either stay away or you can show your ugly faces for all the world to see. Also, I only allow guests onto the Zoom link once a week. I'm not going to have the same people jumping on every day, 2-3 times a week. So if you've already been on this week, when I open up the Zoom links on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll have to wait until next week. I'm not going to turn this into a clout-chasing avenue. Before I get started, pardon me. I need to address something that a lot of you guys wanted me to explain, and that is Kratom. A lot of you guys in the comments were saying, okay, like you guys talked about, Devin and I, we waxed poetic about the benefits of Kratom, but we did not tell you what it was. So here's the Reader's Digest version of what Kratom is. This stuff right here. Mitragyna speciosa. Mitragyna speciosa, that is the official name for Kratom, the scientific name for Kratom. It is a plant that provides a wide variety of effects and benefits. Okay, Mitragyna leaves, they've been growing in Southeast Asia's forests for centuries, long before online shopping was possible. Now, the majority of the Kratom that will be found for sale will be powdered, okay? This Kratom powder, it can have a bit of an earthy taste, and it can take some getting used to. Some varieties or strains are good for relaxation, while others are better for energy. Kratom effects can be predicted with reasonably consistent accuracy. Kratom strains, it's based on 3 different variables. It's the vein color, the origin, and the speed, which is fast, moderate, or slow. I started taking Kratom back in 2014 to help me with, at first, to help me with the Coca-Cola come down. But what I didn't realize is that it would play a major role in keeping me off of medication to help with my temper problem. Guys, look, man, I've always been transparent with you guys about my criminal record. I'm a 4-time convicted felon of violent crimes, and I've been arrested over 24 times for some of the same things. You guys also know that my temper is something I struggle with on a daily basis. I've always been open and honest with you about these things. Not that I've ever had to, because you guys have seen plenty of meltdowns that I've had on the air. But what's really helped me control my temper is Kratom. However, Kratom is also a great replacement for energy drinks. Rather than shotgunning a Red Bull after or before I work out, I'll take a fast strain like Thunder Hippo. Here, this right here is Thunder Hippo, which helps me feel incredibly energetic and motivated when I need to be productive in the studio with my writing, my projects, and my live streams. I'll take a moderate strain like Happy Hippo 1, which happens to be one of my favorite strains. Happy Hippo 1 was also the very first Kratom strain I tried. Then when I need to relax, I'll take a slower strain like maybe a Top Shelf Bali. Since I've started taking Kratom, Happy Hippo has expanded their product line. There are now flavored Kratoms like strawberry limeade and pineapple grapefruit, which you guys see here. They also have Kratom energy shots, like this, like the ones you see here. Now, you can take kratom in several different ways, guys. You can, I mean, there's really endless ways you can take it. You can either mix it with tea, you can put it in a protein shake. Kratom, I dump it down my mouth, and I follow it with water. Most people don't like to do that, but I've been doing it like that for 8 years now. Devin doesn't like the toss and wash method, but she really does like the kratom shots. So now that you guys know what kratom is, you guys can give it a try through my affiliate link in the description. I'm also going to put it in the chat. If you use the promo code HTR, you will get 15% off when you buy through my affiliate link. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this party started here. So I've actually got several topics before we get to the main event. So let's go ahead and get this party started here. The first one is, and again, these were sent to me by the lovely and talented Devin. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is this was on World Star Hip Hop, and the title of this is "Wasn't Expecting That." Chick's Bumble date cancels and unmatched her after finding out she really looks like this. So let's take a look and listen to what's going on with this.
I was supposed to have a first date tonight, and he just unmatched me on Bumble, so I guess we're not going to get drinks anymore. But I thought I would show you guys my outfit so somebody saw it, because I know I'll get questions. My dress is from Eloquy, but I got it from D&Co. My jacket is from ASOS, and my boots are Topshop.
Well, whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Holy moly. I did not, holy smokes. Holy moly. Look, man, I got to tell you, I don't think I'm alone when I said, did not see that one coming. Holy moly. Look, let's watch this again. So she's telling us about her top shelf boots, and it's interesting. This is very, very interesting. This is what we call fat fishing. Okay? This is what we call fat fishing. And you can always tell you're possibly being fat-fished because a girl's pictures on her profile or her Instagram, they're always from the neck up. Even with this video, she doesn't have an overweight face. Okay? I can't see what her fingers look like, but a fat fish sign is that she has triangular fingers. Yeah, Jixler says, 86 says, yeah, her face does not match her body. Clearly not. This is, watch.
I was supposed to have a first date tonight, and he just unmatched me.
And it's interesting. She's not attractive, but she's really not ugly in the face either. But this was like, I could not, I honestly could not describe what this was.
On Bumble, so I guess we're not going to get drinks anymore.
I guess not.
But I thought I would show you guys my outfit so somebody saw it, because I know I'll get questions.
Dude,
my dress is from Eloquy, but I got it from D&Co. My jacket is from ASOS, and my boots are Topshop.
ASOS? I've never even heard of ASOS. Wow! Wow. 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 Holy moly. Guys, let this be a lesson to you. This is a cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale. Never agree to go out on a date with a girl who only gives you neck up shots. Okay? Never agree to that. You know, it's interesting. Girls will, we actually had a discussion about this on the Sunday Zoom call yesterday about how women, well, it's okay for women to get over on men, but it's not okay for them. It's not okay for the opposite, right? We have girls going on foodie call dates. And of course, a foodie call, for those of you who are not aware of what a foodie call is when a woman goes out on a date with a man that she is not romantically interested in, unbeknownst to the man, for the sole purpose of getting fed. That's it. She doesn't want to sleep with him. She doesn't want to hook up with him. She doesn't want to pursue a relationship. She just wants to get fed. But she doesn't tell the guy that she's not romantically interested in him. She leads him to believe that she is. and this is really lying by omission, right? Because, I mean, listen, if we knew that a girl was not romantically interested in us, we're not taking her to dinner. And guys, this is why I always preach low investment dates, coffee dates, take her out for drinks, okay? Feed the ducks, like Steve the Dean used to say. Do not take, and listen, this is a woman you absolutely should never, ever take on a dinner date. You should never take a woman like this on a dinner date. But that's what they do. But the minute a guy turns the tables and uses, I guess, pickup game, to get bedroom fun out of a woman with nefarious intentions, now it's a problem. Remember the Dine and Dash dater? Remember him? He got 120 days in jail. He was going out with dates with women, sticking them with the check. He got 120 days in jail. Then, of course, we have the Tinder swindler, who I believe is... The Tinder swindler is the GOAT. The Tinder swindler is the GOAT. We get Netflix specials made out of him. We have women around the world swindling dudes out of meals. One guy swindles a girl out of a few $1,000s, and there's a Netflix special about it. If she doesn't have pictures from the waist down, get out of there, guys. I don't know what more proof you have to have. Ay. Boy, I did not see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming. Shout out to Derek the Trader with the $10 super chat. Says, Donovan, any man would be broke as F after taking that girl out. Yeah, she actually, she looks like twins, to be honest with you. And she might be triplets. How much is she weighing, by the way? She weighing, what's she weighing? What's she weighing? What's she weighing? 3 bills? Right? Jay Blaze on the YouTube side says she needs to have amazing BJ skills. No, she doesn't. Listen, if you look, dude, look, let's go back to that. If you look like that, I don't want anything that looks like that anywhere near my sausage. Sorry, that's just not me. That's just not me. And don't be one of these guys. I hate it when these, well, she has a pretty face. No. There's no. Her face would be prettier if she weighed less. That's just all there is to it. Look, man, I'm not trying to fat shame because, hey, you know what they say? Big girls need loving too. I'm just not attracted to that. And most men with a healthy sexual appetite aren't either, no matter what the world says. Holy smokes. RH says she would get the lobster, I bet. Absolutely. Did you see Jay? Says easily 300 plus. Yeah, I think she's probably 3 bills. I think she's 3 bills. Elliot Moore says I'm saying 250. She looks about 5'5" in heels. I don't care how tall she is. Doesn't matter. I don't care how tall you are. If you look like that, you're not getting anywhere near my sausage. Phantom 313 says 3 bends. Yeah. Yep. Wow. Derek the Trader said she could play in the NFL. Yeah. Sign her to the practice squad. The Carolina Panthers need help. That's for sure. All right, let's move to the next story. This is a very this story here is very interesting. So this was posted on this was posted on The Sun, and the name of the article is "In the Clear, much bigger woman cleared of forcing man to have bedroom fun with her after telling jurors she's too lazy to get on top." Well, let's take a look. A much bigger woman wept as she was cleared of forcing a man to have relations with her after claiming she was too lazy to go on top. Imogen Brooke, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, who weighed 24 stones at a time. Computer, how many pounds is 24 stones?
24 stones, 336
Oh,
pounds.
my God. 336 pounds at the time, allegedly pinned the man down after a date at her home in Southampton. There is a
answer I translated from Good
computer stop. And there's the picture of the lovely Ms. Brooke, cleared of forcing a man to have intercourse with her. That sounds like EPAR, guys. That's what that sounds like. I'm not sure I mean, listen. Listen. I know this. I know this woman's size makes this story a little bit more fascinating, I guess. But I see forced a man to have relations with her. The 30-year-old was then accused of engaging in non-consensual bedroom fun with the man who was left staring at the wall after a 15-minute ordeal. Brooks sobbed and thanked jurors as she was today cleared of causing a person to engage in bedroom activity without consent. The panel took 1 hour to find the student. Wait a minute. This is a student, which means she's 30. Not guilty following a 4-day trial. Brooke today told jurors she would not have been able to tug the man over onto his back in bed because, she said, quote, "I'm not Superwoman." She also denied having sex with him and instead claimed she ended up eating onion rings alone after he fell asleep when they kissed.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I think they absolutely consummated the date. I think they did. I think she's capping. And I think that's why she was so emotional about being acquitted. Brooke also said the position he claimed they had intercourse in, her on top, would be challenging due to her larger frame. And she told Southampton Crown Court in her evidence that she would not have gone on top for the alleged period of 15 minutes. Brooke said, "No, 15 minutes on top, I wouldn't. I'm very lazy. I had no sex on top for any duration." Jurors were told previously how Brooke was, quote, "very drunk and horny when she climbed on top of the man after a date. She then allegedly started riding the man whose protests were going in one ear and out the other." Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Brooke also told him, "You may be saying no, but your sausage is saying yes," before she rolled off him and went to sleep, it was said. But she told the court how when the pair returned to her flat, she put her dog out and put some onion rings in the oven because I like food, especially when drunk. Brooke then claimed they began kissing, but her date fell asleep after she got up to check on her food. See, that's where the cap is. So you mean you came home, you let the dog out, you put some onion rings in the oven. Onion rings in the oven. That's problem number one. You're supposed to fry onion rings, but that's neither here nor there. You made out with the guy and he just fell asleep? Nah, I don't buy that. She added, "After kissing, I went and sorted the onion rings out. I wouldn't have checked if they were cooked or needed a bit longer and put mayonnaise on the plate." Oh boy. Onion rings and mayonnaise. Again, this is not relevant, but onion rings and mayonnaise, what are we doing? Onion rings are good with barbecue sauce and or ketchup, not mayonnaise. "I ate them all to myself before he was asleep." The alleged victim later told how Brooke sent a photo of him asleep on Facebook Messenger the next day with a bruise on his neck. He sent her a voice note asking if she wanted to see the love bite she had given him. Brooke replied, "The picture I took last night looked horrific, like I strangled you. I'm never doing that to you again, by the way. You liked it last night." But she denied leaving the mark on the complainant, telling jurors she could not have given a love bite as she can't multitask. The court was told, obviously, because Brooke was bigger than the alleged victim and about twice his body weight. He said in his evidence he got flashbacks of the night, still adding, "I still remember the entire night. Oh, sweet mother of God. This poor bloke. I can't remember it because I can't get it out of my head." Ay, 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 ay. Oh, is this her trying to look attractive? Oh, boy. Ay, 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 ay. Man, oh, man. Yeah, guys, I'm not buying this. I absolutely positively believe that relations were had. I don't buy that she came home, let her dog out, put some onion rings in the oven, made out with the guy and fell asleep. I think the night went exactly the way the dude said that it happened. Can you imagine if the roles were reversed? If the genders were reversed? Right? Let's read this. Let's switch the genders. And let's see how much serious, let's see how less funny this sounds, right? Ian Brooke, who weighed 36 pounds at the time, allegedly pinned the woman down after a date at her home in Southampton. The 30-year-old was then accused of engaging in non-consensual sex with the woman, who was left staring at the wall after the 15-minute ordeal. Ian sobbed and thanked jurors as he was today cleared of causing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent. Doesn't quite sound so funny now, does it? The panel took 1 hour to find the student not guilty following a 4-day trial. Ian, today, told jurors that he would not have been able to tug the woman over onto his back in bed because I'm not Superman. He also denied having sex with her and instead claimed he ended up eating onion rings all alone after she fell asleep when they kissed. Do you think that they would believe this story if the genders were reversed? If Imogen, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, if Imogen were Ian Brooke, let's just keep it real. They would have thrown him to the gallows. They would have put him under the jail. Clearly, this was clearly a gendered bias. I don't believe for 1 second that she did not force this man to have relations. Women her size, I mean, Jesus. Oh, my God. I feel for the guy. I really, really do. I really do. Elliot Morris, on the YouTube side, says onion rings plus mayonnaise equals Jigglypuff. That makes sense. Rebel5150 says, did someone say onion rings? Devin says onion rings plus kissing, LOL. RH says, oh, great, she smells like a brewery. Kyle2020 says she's the Blob, not Superman. Elliot Morris says, question. If she collided head-on with the first girl, would anyone within a 20-mile radius survive? I'm going to go with no. Just an inkling. Ay. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You absolutely cannot make this stuff up. All right, let's go to our next topic here. If you scream, I'll kill you. Colorado woman charged with kidnapping after allegedly holding Tinder date captive. Oh boy. Lauren Dooley, 22, allegedly bound the victim's wrist and ankles with duct tape and forced him into her bed at knife point. Oh boy. Where's the story? What happened to the story? Huh. I don't know what's going on with the, let me try to hit the refresh button here, guys. We do it live, but this was, this was weird. No, that's not what I wanted. This doesn't make any sense. I thought that there was like a whole story here, but I guess the story disappeared. Let me turn up the volume. Here we go. Okay, so I guess the article is in. I guess the article is in the video. Actually, Devin's on the job because she has sent me the article from People Magazine. There we go. I appreciate that, Devin. Devin always comes up in the clutch, as only she can. Okay, so here we go. All right, very good. All right, so appreciate that, Devin. If you scream, I'll kill you. Colorado woman charged with kidnapping after allegedly holding Tinder date captive. Lauren Dooley, 22, allegedly bound the wrists and ankles with duct tape and forced him into her bed at knife point. Authorities arrested a woman accused of binding her Tinder date's limbs with duct tape and holding him captive at knife point at her Colorado apartment. According to probable cause documents obtained by KXRM-TV, 22-year-old Lauren Dooley faces second-degree charges of kidnapping and assault in addition to menacing and false imprisonment. On September 28th, the victim, identified as a 21-year-old male in the redacted documents, agreed to meet Dooley at her Colorado Springs apartment after the pair connected on Tinder. Upon the victim's arrival, Dooley allegedly performed sex acts on him before binding his wrists and ankles with duct tape, according to these documents. That's a little bit weird. I don't know how... He's a man, she's a woman. I don't know how she was able to overpower him. Even if she had if a woman is trying to force me to do something at knife point, I would neutralize that threat rather quickly and easily. So I'm not really sure. I think there's got to be something that we don't know. Anyway. The victim found it odd, but consented to it. Okay, there we go. He consented to it. That's what it is. He allowed her. Yep. Frank Mula called it. He allowed her to bind him. That's how. Okay, very good. The victim found it odd, but consented to it. That was your first mistake. However, when Lauren produced a kitchen knife and demanded he get into her bedroom, the victim no longer consented to staying at the residence, the document read. There is the lovely Ms. Dooley. She's not bad looking. But you can see she's clearly crazy. Clearly crazy. Fearing for his life, the victim told authorities he agreed to get into Lauren's bed, where she allegedly proceeded to climb on top of him, cut his arm, and choked him with a belt. Wow. Upset that he was bleeding all over her sheets, she allegedly demanded he get into her bathtub while she ordered food from the DoorDash delivery app. Wow. Holy smokes. So this chick kidnaps this dude. She ties him up. She cuts him, does all this crazy stuff. He's bleeding all over the place. She gets upset. She's like, I need a burger. Get in the bathtub. I'm going to DoorDash something. Wow. If you scream or say anything, I will 187 you, Lauren allegedly told the victim as the delivery person arrived, per the documents. After she fell asleep, the victim told the officers he was able to free himself of the duct tape with the kitchen knife she used to attack him and escape the apartment parking lot, where he called for help. Citing an open line 911 call, authorities said the dispatcher could hear the victim say he was bleeding all over the bed and telling another person, "You're going to kill me." When authorities arrived, they discovered blood-soaked rags, a kitchen knife, and a bloody bathtub during a search of the apartment. Dooley was taken into custody by Colorado Springs police. She is scheduled to appear in court on Thursday. It is unclear if Dooley entered a plea to the charges or retained an attorney who can speak on her behalf. I think somebody already said this in the chat, but I don't think she's going to get any time for this. I really don't. I really don't. Today's modern women, they are routinely allowed to commit egregious crimes and heinous acts, including kidnapping and stabbing, holding someone against their will, holding someone captive against their will, and being able to escape. Frank Mula, the best example I can think of right off the top of my head is the Courtney Taylor situation. Courtney Taylor 187'd her boyfriend. She 187'd her boyfriend. She then calls the cops. The cops show up. There's the deceased body. There's blood all over her. She admits to having 187'd him, and they did not arrest her. Matter of fact, 5 months after the alleged 187'ing, they extradited her back to Miami from Hawaii. This woman allegedly committed second-degree 187, but was able to travel around the country and ended up in Hawaii. Once again, let's switch the genders. Can you imagine had the roles been reversed? Now, I'll tell you this. If he had 187 her, he'd be done. They'd have given him the chair. No trial. A black man and a white woman? Oh, no. They said, no, They said OJ's the only one getting away with that. No, sir. But because it was a woman, an attractive white woman at that, she was able to just, waltz off and travel around the country and da-da-da-da-da-da. Roosh V was on a flight, and I forget where he was flying from or flying to, but he's banned in Europe. They turned a plane around because they found out he was on the plane. Roosh didn't 187 anybody. He didn't harm anybody. Yet this woman is able to 187 a man in her apartment. There's also video of her assaulting him in an elevator. Clearly, this woman has violent proclivities. She continued to escalate it, and it escalated to 187. But instead of taking her into custody, instead of arresting her, which is what they should have done, they said, nah, go ahead, we'll figure all this out. We'll get this going. We'll get this going. Unbelievable. Only in America. My question is this. I haven't done a lot of international traveling, but I want to pose a question to the chat here. I want to pose a question to the chat. Do women get away with these kinds of crimes overseas? And I'm not talking about Australia, England, the United, or I'm not talking about Australia, England, or Canada, or the hotbeds of the girl power movement. No, I'm talking about just Brazil, Japan, Ukraine, Russia, Argentina, anywhere else but the West. Do women in the East, can they 187 someone and just be sent along their merry way, go on a vacation or two, and then get extradited when it's convenient for the authorities? I can't imagine that this is what's going on overseas. I can't imagine that. Which is probably why women in other countries are much better behaved than American women. Vaughn says, I believe so. All right. Bad Wrench Automotive says, hell no, I don't think so either. Okay, so there's two. Yair Vaknin says, I believe so. Derek the Trader says, not in the Middle East. Oh, I know. I know they're not doing that in the Middle East, for sure. Phantom 313 says, you cannot make this ish up. Welcome to Clown World. Welcome to Clown World. This is a failure of the American justice system, gentlemen. This is a failure of the American justice system. There's no way she gets away with this. No way. And I'm talking about Lauren Dooley and tying up the Tinder date. There's no way she gets away with this. Common sense tells you that if you kidnap a man, hold him against his will, have relations with him non-consensually, cut him, strangle, choke him with a belt, and order DoorDash while he bleeds out in the bathtub, there's no way she gets away with that. There's no way she gets away with that. But women like Courtney Taylor, the Soho Karen, they are routinely given a pass for even more egregious crimes. We just talked about Courtney Taylor. She 187'd her boyfriend. She was able to take a vacation in Hawaii before they picked her up 5 months later. What this does is this tells women, specifically American women, that they can just do anything they want to men and really not have to worry about it. This woman was so bold and so brazen with what she did. This chick actually ordered DoorDash. This woman had a man that she had kidnapped, bound, and tortured in a bathtub, bleeding out, and she had the balls to call DoorDash. That's how brazen she was. In her mind, she's thinking, dude, there's no way I'm going to get caught. There's no way I'm going to get caught. So you see, when criminals commit crimes like this, they do their level best to keep any witnesses from seeing anything. Because the more people are aware of what you're doing, the more likely it is that you are going to get caught. Nope. Not this woman. Not in America. Again, man bleeding, cut, choked, stabbed in bathtub. She decides to call DoorDash. She was so sure she was going to get away with this, she actually ordered DoorDash. Only in America. Clement Ekpo says the justice systems are not built to help men. That's the overarching point. If you are a man in this country, the law's not on your side. We know the law's not on our side in family court. We already know that. But now in criminal court? Now we got to watch out for crazy broads on Tinder? Unbelievable. The only reason why this girl attempted this is because she knows that the American justice system is set up to help women like her get away with this kind of thing. This is dangerous for men. Health as Well says they feel they can do no wrong. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Gentlemen, what you're seeing on your screen is the result of the they can do no wrong. Women are never, ever held accountable for their decisions, good, bad, or otherwise. And it's gotten to a point where women are committing egregious, highly illegal crimes against men and getting away with it, or getting to go to Hawaii. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I cannot believe this woman actually... I'm gonna go. Let me go back down here. It says, okay, yeah, Dooley was taken into custody by Colorado Springs police. She is scheduled to appear in court on Thursday. It is unclear if Dooley entered a plea to the charges or retained an attorney who can speak on her behalf. I think I'm definitely gonna keep everyone updated on this particular story. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. King Life says these chicks are getting more and more violent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, man. Dude, the Soho Karen, she keeps getting bailed out. She keeps getting released. She accused some poor kid of stealing her phone. They almost arrested him. She's out here assaulting people. Unbelievable. All right, let's move to our next story. We're going to get to the main event here very, very shortly. Oh, wait a minute. Was that it? Wait a minute. Hold up. Sorry about that. Ah! Yes. Girlfriend draws up 17-page relationship contract 2 weeks after first Tinder date. Oh boy. Annie Wright has been hurt in the past and wanted to avoid suffering in a relationship again, so put forward the idea of a contract to boyfriend Michael Head, and Michael Head was quick to agree. This should be good. A woman drew up a lengthy relationship contract with her boyfriend, the article starts, just 2 weeks after they met on Tinder, outlining the terms and conditions for dating her. Let me stop right there. Outlining the terms and conditions for dating her. Anytime you are outlining terms and conditions for dating you, that insinuates that you bring some sort of value to a man outside of your sexual allure. This goes back to what we just talked about with the crime. Women are told that they are so valuable, they're so revered, guys are so thirsty. We got women out here actually drawing up contracts, 17 pages to be exact, with terms and conditions. What is this, an iPhone? What is this, Netflix? What am I signing into Wi-Fi? I gotta sign a terms and conditions contract to be able to date you? For what? Annie Wright demanded he pay for date nights and buy her flowers twice a month. Oh boy. The girlfriend also wanted her man in shape and wrote into the agreement that working out 5 times a week was non-negotiable. She first met Michael Head on Tinder in October 1st last year, and they quickly became exclusive. Determined to make the relationship work after having her, quote, boundaries crossed in a previous toxic relationship, 21-year-old Annie joked they should write down what they wanted from each other. Ah. Well, this was the inception. This was the inception. She said she joked that they should write down what they wanted from each other. Nope. She had this plan the whole time. Cute dog, by the way. And again, we know that anytime a woman describes a relationship as toxic, that just means he did not put up with her shit. I was in a toxic relationship means that it was hard for me to be unfaithful. It was hard for me to cheat. He didn't deal with my emotional shenanigans. He didn't deal with my bullshit. That's what a toxic relationship is. Law student Michael, oh no, agreed, and it ended up becoming official, and the 17-page contract was drawn up. So this dude is a law student who signed a contract. Devin in the chat wants to know, can he e-sign it? That's a good question. Maybe we should reach out to her and see if he did use DocuSign to sign the contract. It continues shortly after risk management and insurance student Annie and Michael, 23, sat down and read out their own terms, including asking for, quote, a romantic gesture once every 2 weeks, and, quote, working out at least 5 times a week alone. Oh, okay. So not only do you want a romantic gesture twice a week, you want to be able to require him to work out alone, which means he doesn't have access to you. So while he's working out, what do you think she's going to be doing? Other clauses included, quote, no silent treatment and him paying for date nights. Oh, boy. Now, Annie credits the lengthy contract as the key to their relationship success and even suggested they might give each other a, quote, yearly review when they celebrate their 1-year anniversary next month. A yearly review. Yeah, something tells me he's not giving her the yearly review. Something tells me the yearly reviews are being given by her. Annie from Atlanta, Georgia says, this has been a game changer. I recommend all couples have one. It is the best thing ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. We treat our relationship almost like a business interaction. We deal with conflict like partners would in business. Like partners in business would. We sit down and treat it more like we're partners in life, and love is an added bonus. Yeah, listen, everything works in theory. Everything works in theory. Baker19 literally stole my thunder. If a dude makes the same contract, he would be called controlling. Dude, we get called controlling for less than that. We get called controlling when we say, I don't commit to women who go to bars or clubs. OMG, you're controlling. Yet this woman is able to put in a contract, you're going to give me flowers twice a month, at least 2 romantic gestures per week. Oh, and by the way, you got to work out. Yet when I say my girlfriend, when I say I'm not going to date women who are overweight or women who don't go to the gym, we're called controlling, toxic, misogynistic, etc., etc. Here are the boundaries. Understanding each other's boundaries will transform our ability to communicate and help nip issues in the bud before they overwhelm us. Number 1, saying no. I know you may find it easier to sacrifice your own needs for me. Wow. Holy smokes. The audacity. I know you may find it easier to sacrifice your own needs for me. Nope. Actually, I don't. I'm not sacrificing my own needs for anybody. Not even Devin. Listen, I love Devin to death, but I'm not sacrificing my needs for her. You kidding me with that? B, if I ever ask you something of you that goes against your principles, disrespects your time, or forces you to sacrifice something important, it's okay to say no. Oh, well, she's giving me permission to say no. I'm touched. It does not have to be harsh, but please be assertive. Oh, wow. Oh, look at this. Assertive is an important note here, as I am self-aware enough to know that I will attempt to beg and push boundaries if you seem unsure of your decision. Oh, my God. It's almost like this woman is trying to protect her from herself. Wow. C, if you choose to do something for me that negatively impacts your schooling, sleep schedule, relationships, it is not my responsibility. Oh. So basically, if I neglect my needs for you and it negatively impacts, I don't know, my sleep, law school, my relationships with my friends and family, not my responsibility. You have the option to say no, and I will not be made to feel guilty for choices you make. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's literally what C is. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I ask you something, you can tell me no, but you have to tell me no in a way that I find pleasing. And I'm going to try to push it. I'm going to try to make you feel guilty. Right? She even says, listen, I will beg and attempt to push boundaries, but then in C, no, I will not be made to feel guilty for the choices you made. So you can do something for me, but I'm not going to be held responsible. Gentlemen, what that literally says is when a man does something for a woman and it negatively impacts him, what's the first thing women always say? Well, he didn't have to do it. Unbelievable. Prying, when I am ready to talk, I will. As you know, I go silent when upset. I understand this can be concerning and stressful for you. However, prying and putting me on the spot can result in emotional outbursts and saying words I do not mean. Wow. Holy smokes. Apparently, I guess there are 17 pages of this. Oh, this poor guy. Oh, there's looks like their bulldog is all grown up. She gets flowers twice a month and dates. The best thing about this relationship is the dog. The dog is like, dude, we got to get out of here. And of course, he's got the cheeseburger smile. Look how lucky I am. This is absolutely pathetic. I cannot believe this is going on. I cannot believe this. Annie had just come out of a long-term relationship last year when she initially planned to enjoy life as a university student, partying and using dating apps, translation, sleeping around. But after matching with Michael on Tinder and inviting him on a dog walk, she knew instantly she wanted to make things work. The reason why she knew instantly she wanted to make things work was because he's a law student. That's why. That's why she's got her hooks in him. Annie said, quote, "It was a fluke that I met him. I was going on 3 Tinder dates a week ago. A week to go out there and meet people. I was going on 3 Tinder dates a week to go out there and meet people. So she's smashing dudes to meet people out there. Do you guys see what's going on here? This woman literally was sleeping with all the bad boys, sleeping around, getting ran through. She found a guy that doesn't know any better and says, ha, that's my sucker. That's my sucker. That's him. The 3 Tinder dates a week that I'm going out with, getting smashed out by all these dudes. I know they're not going to sign a 17-page contract. I decided that living in a college town, I was never going to get this opportunity again. Wow. So she just got it all out of her system, huh? On his profile, he had a selfie of him reading a book. If I had gone into it with the mindset of finding a serious relationship, I don't think I'd have found him. This woman is literally telling us that she was being a slut before she found this guy. I met him and was like, I will make this work. They say you can meet someone and you're like, wow, this is the person. I had that moment with Michael where I was looking at him and he was everything I could have ever wanted in a partner. But at that stage in my life, I wasn't at that point mentally. And there you have it. There you have it. Michael is husband material. And anytime a woman calls a man husband material, what's the translation? I'm not sexually attracted to you. Determined not to fall into a doomed relationship again, Annie then agreed to drop the contract and present it like on The Apprentice. Annie said, we grew up individual contracts and came together like on The Apprentice and presented them. We printed out terms. We printed out of, they need an editor. I went over to his place. We sat on either end of the bed and read them out loud. I felt like, the biggest issue I had in my relationship was it felt like boundaries of mine were crossed that I never established. Oh my God. See, girls reserve the right to make up the rules as they go along. I was like, this time I'll write them out and no one can cross my boundaries. Michael's also pre-law, so he was pretty keen on the idea of making the contract. No, Michael being a law student has absolutely nothing to do with him being keen on the idea of making the contract. Michael doesn't have options. That's the problem. That's why Michael agreed to this. This is why we tell you guys. You need to be at least 35 years old and have slept with at least 35 women before you even think about getting into a long-term relationship, guys. I tell you guys this all the time. You gotta wait till you're 35. And girls, modern women, especially young, attractive women, they know they can't pull this on guys who know their value. This guy, Michael, doesn't know what his value is. That's why he agreed to this ridiculous contract. If she had met Michael, I don't know, say 15 years from now when he's 38 and has his own practice, he'd have been like, nope. Sorry. This is why we teach what we teach, gentlemen. This is why we teach what we teach. And this is being hailed as some sort of a revolutionary something or other. But once again, let's switch the genders. If this was a man who did this with a woman, they'd do a Netflix special on him. Even though the woman doesn't have to sign the contract. Wow. Insanity. This is insane. It's absolutely in-frickin' sane. All right, let's read some of the chats here. Yarvek Vaknin said, doormat. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Savage Matrix 9 says she's not even smoking hot. Bruh, look. Okay, so let me ask you this question, Savage Matrix 9. Let's say she were smoking hot. Would that make a difference? No. Of course not. Her sexual market value didn't have anything to do with this. This is absolute nonsense. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Sean Moore says, no woman ever existence has that much value. No, they do not. Absolutely. Vaughn says she'll be cheating left and right. He's a gump. Yep. That whole contract is designed to give her the room to cheat. It's obvious. Oilsberg says obligatory sex only. That's right. Axel Stone says this is what happens when you give a woman power over relationships. You better believe it. Phantom 313 says more like a lost student. Yep, she was on the train. Yep. Yeah, Captain Dan says bad grammar article. Articles written by women on these websites are almost always have terrible grammar. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, it is now time for the main event. I was going to cover this little Victoria's Secret thing, but I'm not sure if there's copyright or not. So, I saw... Hang on a second. Here we go. So shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily for making me aware of this video. I saw he did a slight, kind of a surface level breakdown of this, but this particular video should serve as a cautionary tale to any young woman who is thinking about whether or not she wants to buy into the girl power movement activists. The girl power movement, rather. This woman is the quintessential example of one of the many, many warnings. Many warnings. There's so guys, listen. There are so many stories and articles out there, just like this one, where women are saying, you know what? I regret having slept around. I regret being the town bicycle. Unfortunately, for every one video like this, there are 100 videos that talk about the joys of sleeping around. There was even one video I broke down years and years ago. This professor of sexology or whatever, talking about how beneficial it was for women to have multiple partners. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. But here we have another woman who is going to tell us why sleeping around is not good for you. How many of these women have to do videos or articles like this before women start to realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. But they don't do that with these videos. They say, well, yeah, listen, man, that's her. That's not going to happen to me. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, since Ben Shapiro read my piece, I Regret Being a Slut, I figured it should be out there in my own words and voice because it doesn't sound quite like me.
Okay. I don't really know. I don't really understand why Ben Shapiro reading this has anything to do with it not being her voice. I mean, I don't know, maybe Ben Shapiro's, maybe his tone of voice was not to her liking. Maybe the way Ben Shapiro read it maybe made her look worse than she wanted to. But she's going to read this piece in her own words, word for word. And we are going to see in the body language, we are going to see in her body language and really her vocal tones, we're going to find out just how much regret this woman has. And you will be able to see it loud and clear. However, there are going to be times during this video where she doesn't necessarily double down, but she almost backtracks, right? Like she regrets being a 304, but the advice that she gives to young girls, some of the advice that she gives to young girls is contradictory. Let's continue.
I really just wanted to take a minute, read the piece in my own voice, and tell you about the reaction that I've received, and tell you about some of the things I've heard and some of the things that have been put on this essay that I don't feel are what I was trying to say at all. So I'm going to read it.
Oh, there we go. So it sounds like Ben Shapiro broke this down. Ben Shapiro broke this down, and she didn't like how he broke it down. Probably because he did some translating in there.
Which I've never done this before, so we'll see how this goes. I regret being a slut. Upon opening Louise Perry's new book, The Case Against the Sexual Revolution, A New Guide to Sex in the 21st Century, I'm moved to tears by the dedication. For the women who learned it the hard way. Unlike many other people who have read and reviewed Perry's work, reading her book wouldn't be some academic exercise in contemplating how liberal feminism has let women down. It wouldn't be evaluating what those poor sluts over there have endured in the wake of the sexual revolution.
There you go. So right now, she's acknowledging the fact that she had the mindset, well, look, I've heard that sleeping around might not be good for me, but that's not going to happen to me, is it?
Reading her book was personal. I am one of the...
Look at her eyes, guys. Look at her eyes. Gentlemen, that is this right here. This is the very definition of the thousand cock stare. This is the very definition of the thousand cock stare. This woman is 43 years old. She looks like she's 53. There's no soul. She has absolutely no soul. There's no soul left. This is what sleeping around does to women. Look how sad and unhappy she looks. She looks worn down. She looks used up. Cody Marshall with the $5 super chat says women wouldn't care about their consequences until it's too late. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Cody Marshall says also that's them bar cocktail eyes. Yep, that's right. That's right.
Those sluts. I'm a case study for her thesis, A Cautionary Tale. I knew this book was going to be difficult, and it made me realize it's time to finish this essay, one I've been trying to write for 4 years. It's a tough needle to thread.
Dre Raven with the $5 super chat says she doesn't regret the carousel. She regrets getting kicked off it. Yeah, I agree.
I'm grateful for the ability to control my reproductive cycle and make my own money, but that freedom has come at a price. The dark side of the sexual revolution is that even though it liberated women, unyoking sex from the consequences has primarily benefited men. I was first inspired to write this piece when a 19-year-old woman I used to wait tables with asked me, Bridget, have you ever regretted having sex with a man?
Oh, my God.
I laughed. Yeah, all of them. That's not entirely true.
See, there it is. See? She doesn't regret being on the carousel. She doesn't regret it. Deterion Pla says strumpet's tail. Yeah, exactly right. Right? She's still, dude, again, she's still holding on to that. Well, I regret being on the carousel, but not all of it.
There was my first love in high school and my first husband. But if I'm honest with myself, of the dozens of men I've been with, at least...
Oh, my God. Of the dozens of men I've been with. The dozens of men I've been with. That's unbelievable, guys. That is unbelievable. Gentlemen, the body counts of women are astronomical. And I can promise you, The body count of a woman is always astronomically higher than you would even think. This is why when Myron asks girls what their body count is on Fresh and Fit to prove a point, they always start They don't want to. We got girls racking up double-digit body counts in calendar weeks. One girl told me in Vegas, she's like, F it, I've slept with 1,000 guys. 1,000 guys. Do you realize how many that is? This woman just sat here and just casually said the dozens of men I've had sex with. Unbelievable.
The ones I remember. I can only think of a handful I don't regret. The rest I would put in the category of casual, which I would define as sex that is either meaningless or mediocre or both.
Oh, meaningless, mediocre, or both. So if the sex was mediocre, that's what she's regretting. Listen, man. Listen, I can tell that this woman regrets some part of having slept around, but she doesn't regret all of it. She doesn't regret all of it. The only thing I think she regrets is that the party's over. And once the party's over, that's when it really starts to hit you.
If I get really honest with myself, I'd say most of these usually drunken encounters left me feeling empty and demoralized and worthless. I wouldn't have said that at the time, though. At the time, I would have told you I was liberated, even while I tried to drink away the sick feeling of rejection while my most recent hookup didn't call me back.
Wow. There we go. What do I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys? Dude, there are so many women out here who are alcoholics that don't know they're alcoholics. More women are, there are more female alcoholics out here than there have ever been before. They use the alcohol to fuel these sexual encounters, and then they use the alcohol to drown their sorrows when he doesn't call back.
At the time, I would have said one night stands made me feel emboldened.
Oh, God.
But in reality, I was using sex like a drug, trying unsuccessfully to fill a hole inside me with men.
To fill a hole inside me with men.
Pun intended. I know regretting most of my sexual encounters is not something a sex-positive feminist who used to write a column for Playboy is supposed to admit.
There you go.
And for years, I didn't. Let me be clear. Being a slut and sleeping with a lot of men is not the only behavior I regret. Even more damaging was what I told myself in order to justify the fact that I was disposable to these men.
That's because you were. You were disposable to these men. Even with the $5 super, Derek the Trader with the $5 super chat says she literally wrote the article, but does not want it to be held accountable for her words. You can't make this ish up. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. You got that right.
I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. Do
you see this? Do you see this? When a man ghosted me. And now it's about to get real emotional. And you see her voice is quivering. Guys, listen, listen, man, this is why this channel exists. This is why this community exists, man. We teach you guys to steer clear of these women at all costs. Listen, man, we know most modern women are 304s. That's for sure. That's for sure. But there are some 304s out here who are just absolute petri dishes. Just absolute petri dishes. Unbelievable.
I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shit.
See that? See that? She is reliving. She is reliving being a 304. She is reliving being a 304, guys. And when you relive this stuff, it is, oh my God. This is probably, honestly, man, this is probably gut-wrenching. This is probably gut-wrenching to her. And for her to actually read this out loud, whew, Man, oh man.
Shame, the
Look at her.
blackouts, the anxiety.
The blackouts.
The lie I
Jesus.
told myself for decades was, I'm not in pain, I'm empowered.
The lie I told myself for decades. Dozens of men, decades. So let's do some math here. Right. Let's just do some quick, simple math here. This woman, I think, is 43. If my memory serves me after watching this video, she says she has slept with dozens of men for decades. That's 2 decades. So for 2 decades, she slept with dozens of men. How many dozens of men has this woman slept with? Ay.
I knew it would be hard to read this.
Well, yes.
Looking back, it isn't a surprise that I lied to myself because from a young age, sex was something I was lied to about. Long before I ever had sex, I felt ashamed of my natural sexual urges and awkward in my blossoming female body. Growing up Catholic, all I remember about sex was feeling bad about it before I even knew what it was.
Now the blame shifting. Oh yeah, it's my Catholic upbringing. My Catholic upbringing is why I was a 304. It wasn't. No. It has nothing to do. See, guys, what this woman is attempting to do is she is attempting at this point, at this juncture. Pardon me. At this juncture, what she's trying to do is she's trying to explain away her bad decisions. Well, the reason why I threw myself onto dozens of sausages on this carousel was because I didn't know what it was. I was made to feel ashamed of my blossoming body. No, we as humans, we are born with an inherent understanding of the difference between right and wrong, especially women, especially when it comes to sex. Women know they're not supposed to be sleeping around, man. They know they're not supposed to be sleeping around. They know it's bad for them. Nobody has to tell them. Well, actually, people have to tell them now. But there's a reason why. There's a reason why most of the 304 shaming comes from 304s themselves. Guys. It comes from 304s themselves. They understand the first thing that women call each other when they can't stand each other, you're a slut. You're a hoe. Right? But she wants us to think, well, the reason why I threw myself onto dozens of men was because I was made to feel bad about my blossoming body. Get the fuck out of here.
I only knew that sex before marriage was wrong.
I only knew that sex before marriage was wrong. See, there it is. So she was told. She was raised Catholic and she was told. Guys, let me let you guys in on a little secret, man. Sometimes kids are just bad kids, man. Sometimes hoes are just hoes. Listen, man, parents aren't perfect. We know, dude, don't I know it? But every once in a while, there are situations where a kid is blessed with good parents. A kid is blessed with good parents. A girl is blessed with good parents. They do their level best to try to, hey, look, shouldn't have sex before marriage. Don't put yourself in situations, blah, 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 blah. But you want to know something, guys? There are just some girls out here who are just going to be hoes no matter what. They're going to be hoes no matter what, man. That's just how this is. This is just the way some women are designed. Some women were lucky enough and blessed enough to have good enough parents to actually tell them, hey, sex before marriage is wrong for many, many reasons. You should only give yourself to one man your entire life. She had all of that. She had the kind of advantage that most American women do not have. Guess what? This woman was born to be a hoe, unfortunately for her. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. This woman had it in her mind she was going to be a slut no matter what. That's it. This is what American culture does to women, guys. Unbelievable. She had good parents. She had very good parents. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it anyway. It's not going to happen to me.
Even the thought of a sexual act or masturbation filled me with debilitating guilt. The first time I kissed a boy, I was convinced I'd be punished, struck down by an angry, misogynistic God.
Here we go. The first time I kissed a boy, I thought I'd be struck down by an angry, misogynistic God. Newsflash, ho. Misogynistic? Those words weren't used back when you had your first kiss. See, again, she's retroactively, she regrets her decisions, guys. Please believe, she regrets being a hoe. But at every turn, she is placing the blame on men. Struck down by a misogynist God. Dude, where in the Bible does it say that if you kiss a boy, God will strike you down? It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. No, she's using this as an extreme example. Well, I thought I'd be struck down by a misogynist God. No, sweetheart. No, that's you trying to retroactively blame men. She's actually trying to blame God for her bad decisions. Unbelievable. God is a misogynist. Jesus effing Christ.
As I got older, I was told to guard my virginity. Well-meaning mothers and aunts were clear that I needed to withhold sex in order to get a man to love and respect me.
Okay, there we go. Well, there you go. She got the... Dude, people around her were telling her, dude, do you know how many girls don't get the privilege of having mothers and aunts telling her, hey, you need to wait for marriage. You need to wait for marriage before giving up your flower. This woman had mothers and aunts, well-meaning, she admits. She still decided to be a hoe.
Sex was a commodity, a priceless gem I had to hang on to that increased in value the longer I held it. It made me feel like property, and although I don't think that was the intention of the...
It made me feel like property. Do you see how she just glazed over that? Do you see how she just glazed over that? In the same breath, in the same sentence, she says, hey, you know what? Sex is a commodity. It's something you need to hold on to. It is what determines your value as a woman. That somehow made her feel like property. More blame shifting. I felt like property, so I may as well be a hoe. That's like a fat woman saying, well, I'm never going to be a 10, so I'm not going to work out. That's like the average rank and file woman saying, well, I'm never going to get married, so I may as well be a hoe. No, man, no. This woman is not taking accountability for her actions, so it should serve as no surprise that she actually has the thought hairstyle. You guys know what I'm talking about. The high ponytail that's basically Selena Powell.
Meaning mothers and aunts were clear that I needed to withhold sex.
Listen.
In order to get a man to love and respect me.
They were telling the truth, but...
Sex was a commodity, a priceless gem I had to hang on to that increased in value the longer I held it.
Sex was a commodity. A priceless gem that increased in value the longer I held on to it. She is separating herself from sex, but then...
Made me feel like property.
Oh. Do you see how she did that, guys? Do you see how she did that? She separated herself from the sex to separate herself from the accountability, but then she says it made her feel like property. If somebody were to tell me that this Happy Hippo energy shot, this Kratom shot, would increase in value the longer I held on to it, why would it make me feel like property? That's that. I'm me. This is just a Kratom energy shot. Why would it make you feel like property? Another excuse. Another excuse. What's going on here, guys? And this is going to start happening in this is going to start. We're going to start having women come out of the woodworks. They're going to start blaming men for them turning into hoes. They want to cling to feminism and, you know, women need men like fish need a bicycle, blah, 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 blah. Then when they're all used up and nobody wants them anymore other than men who aren't worth a damn, it's men's fault. If you guys didn't smash me, then I wouldn't be a hoe.
And although I don't think that was the intention of the wise women who had learned their own lessons the hard way, for me, sex became inextricably linked to my self-worth.
Jesus.
The shame and...
Yes, that's because it is. It is tied to your self-worth.
Guilt I grew up with regarding sex felt oppressive. I resented the double standard that men could be promiscuous and it would raise their status, and a woman would be slut-shamed for similar behavior.
That's true. But you want to know something, sweetheart? Life ain't fair. Listen, man, the world is full of double standards. But the only double standards women seem to have a problem with are the double standards that don't benefit them. Women get lighter sentences in court. That's a double standard. Women can talk their way out of tickets. Men can't. That's a double standard. Women get a free pass because they're women. That's a double standard. 95% of the double standards in this country benefit women, except for the one that really matters, the sexual double standard. But because there's one double standard that doesn't benefit them, now it's a problem.
My burgeoning sexuality would unfold as a reaction to these repressive religious orthodoxies, old school notions of sexual status.
There it is. Now she's blaming her religion. She blamed God. She blamed her religion. She blamed men. Who else is she going to blame?
And trauma.
Yep. Oh, now it's trauma. Got it.
I lost my virginity at 17 to my boss at a restaurant where I worked.
I lost my virginity at 17 to my boss at a restaurant where I worked. Holy smokes. This woman let her 26-year-old manager at KFC pound her out near the fryer. Unbelievable. Sweetheart, that's nobody's fault. That is, if you're a 17-year-old girl and you allow your boss to pound you out at the fast food restaurant, that's not God's fault, sweetheart. That's not your mom's fault. That's not your aunt's fault. That's not your religion's fault. That's on you. You lost your virginity at a Taco Bell? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
Later, I experienced my first sexual trauma.
Oh, boy.
I felt damaged and dirty.
Here we go. There it is. I felt my first sexual trauma. Here we go. There's always there. Of course, listen, you always know there's the obligatory EPAR. More blame shifting.
And I blame myself. Everyone responds.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Differently to these situations. I dealt with the overwhelming shame by becoming hypersexual and promiscuous.
There it is. That's it. You were already hypersexual and promiscuous, but then you had the trauma, the unspoken trauma. Did you call the cops? Is the person in jail? No and no? These excuses are never ending. You can tell she is expressing great regret, but she is still not taking accountability.
The culture was right there to pick me up and dust me off. I doubled down on being a proud slut and internalized the biggest and most damaging lie, that loveless sex is empowering. I basked in the girl power glow of that delusion for decades, weaponizing my sexuality while convincing myself I was full of the divine feminine. I was full of shit.
Very good. Hey, at least she's taking accountability. Derek the Trader says, ran the math. Assuming she had fun every weekend, 4 times 12, 48 bodies a year. And assuming she was active for 20 years, 20 times 48 is 960 bodies. Yep, that sounds about right to me. And that might even be a conservative number, Derek. Might be.
I told myself that because I could seduce a man, I was powerful. But as Perry says in her book, women can all too easily fail to recognize that being desired is not the same thing as being held in high esteem.
And whoever told her that deserves a medal. Whoever told her that deserves a medal. Look, man, any woman can seduce any man. Dude, just basically say yes. Women don't have to seduce men, dude. Like, men, we're trying to smash all the time. We're trying to smash all the time. It doesn't take skill to be attractive to men.
Deep down inside, I knew that to be the case. But as a defense mechanism, I created a man-eater persona. My mantras were rigid. You can either have a career or a relationship, but you can't have both.
That's exactly right. You can have both, but one is going to suffer.
Intimacy is creepy. Motherhood and children are a trap. Sex is only about power. Another set of lies built on trauma.
You know, the whole thing, this is what misandrists like to say. Sex for men is about power. No, it's not. Sex for men is about getting off. I don't like what, dude, when I'm having sex with a woman, I don't feel powerful. I feel horny. Unbelievable.
Sex isn't just about power. It's also about intimacy and vulnerability and trust. Things I wanted nothing to do with. Because implicit in modern dating is a complete lack of expectations, especially those of chivalry.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Dave Chappelle said it best. Chivalry is dead, and women killed it. The average rank-and-file modern woman is not worthy of chivalry. You cannot expect to be treated like a lady when you do not conduct yourself as such. Why is he not treating me like a lady? Because you're acting like a hoe.
Whenever a man wanted to pick up the tab or pull out the chair or open the door or pick me up or take me to dinner or see me during the day or wait longer than the first date to have sex, I was shocked and suspicious of them. Was he a serial killer?
Do you hear this? If a man did not try to smash her, she was shocked and suspicious of it. Law number 32 of the 49 Laws of Sharpe states that unfortunately, if you do not try to smash a woman on the first date, if you do not try to smash the average rank and file modern woman on the first date, she will lose respect for you. And that's a goddamn shame. That's a shame. And that shit's real. If you don't try to smash girls on the first date, they lose respect for you. They think you're creepy, a serial killer. They think you might be playing for the other team. It's almost like you have to give it the old college try just to make sure she knows that you don't play for the other team. It's ridiculous.
Casual sex is fraught with insecurity and miscommunication. Intimacy and love are punchlines. When a man I slept with had the courtesy to reach out, I mistook relief for happiness, rewiring my brain to be grateful for the bare minimum. The saddest realization is how low I set the bar. A lifetime of allowing myself to be the other woman, taken for granted or treated like a doormat under the false pretense of being empowered, came to head one night with the arrival of a text message from an on-again, off-again lover. "Good night, baby. I love you."
It's so funny how an on-again, off-again lover. Fuck friend, sweetheart. He's a fuck friend. Listen, women don't have lovers anymore. Modern women don't have the privilege to use soft words when it comes to sex. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say on again, off again lover. Because when girls call them lovers, it makes it sound a little less sketchy. It makes it sound a little less raunchy. He wasn't a lover. You just sat here and told us that it was loveless sex. You said it was empty, loveless sex with no feelings. So how can he be? How can a man be a lover if there is no love involved? No, they want to say he was a lover just so it doesn't have that stigma to it. He was not a lover. He's a man who fucked you. That's it. Let's not sugarcoat anything.
It said, quickly followed by wrong person. Rock bottom doesn't always look like losing everything or ending up in jail. Sometimes it can be that sick feeling in your gut when you know emotionally you're...
Pro Fighter says McDonald's loving her. McDonald's manager, she was loving it. I will give you a Don DeMarco for that dad joke, man. That was good. Maybe she smashed her Burger King manager because she wanted to have it her way. Guys, I've opened the floodgates. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Done. I wanted to be able to have meaningless sex like a guy, but it didn't work. After years of writing for Playboy, I've learned it doesn't work for a lot of men either. For years.
What is wrong with my soundboard today? I learned that it doesn't work for men either. See, this is when she's trying to hedge. We have so many people say, well, men with high body counts, that's not good for them. That's not good for them either. Sex affects men and women very differently. Sex affects men and women very differently. This is why better than 1 in 4 women are on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, or both because of riding the carousel. There is not a 42-year-old man alive who has a body count over 100 who is depressed because he slept with over 100 women. Not one. Not one. I have a temper problem dude, I've had a temper problem since before I had sex. I had a temper problem in elementary school. That's got nothing to do with the dozens of women that I've slept with. Men and women are not the same. We are very different. Different things affect us differently. It affects us different physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Men and women are not the same. Sex is not the same act for men and women. The woman is being penetrated, the man is doing the penetrating. That's a big difference. This is why sex affects us differently. So for her to come on here and say, well, it wasn't working for a lot of guys either. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
I don't buy that.
Years, I tried unsuccessfully not to catch the feels.
DeRay Davis says she loved that dickin' from Pot Pies. That is the leader in the clubhouse. That one is the leader in the clubhouse. Love that dickin' from Pot Pies. Wow. Holy smokes. Holy moly.
Even that expression is so telling about the way emotions are viewed regarding relationships, as if they're a cold or a flu or some kind of sickness you need to get over. I'm not speaking for all women. I know many women with a solid sense.
Pro Fighter says, Arby's manager, we have the meats. Oh, man. That's why I love you guys, man. Batterins Automotive says, Applebee's eating good in the neighborhood. We're going to keep it to fast food. Keep it to fast food because that's trashier. I don't believe for 1 second she got pounded out at Outback at 17 years old.
Sense of self who happily have loveless sex. This piece won't make them defensive, but a lot of women.
Yes. Jay Sixler 98 says, to be fair, there is a male porn star that regretted doing porn. Dude, totally agree. Totally agree. That's the exception to the rule, but I will go with you on this. It takes a lot more sex with a lot more women, for it to start to damage men mentally. The number has got to be into the tens of thousands. Rocco Siffredi. Kevin Samuels actually told me about the Netflix documentary on Rocco Siffredi. He talks about the fact that he can't, his mental is starting to get fucked up because of all the women he's banged. It's starting to mess with his mind. Rocco Siffredi has slept with tens of thousands of women. But the only reason why his mental is messed up is because of the amount of men or of women he slept with. Women, that floor is a lot lower. Yes, there is an amount of sex that men can have where it starts to damage our psyche. And 99.99999% of men will never even come close to reaching that number. Rocco Siffredi is in that 0.00001%. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Having a lot of sex with a lot of women can be damaging to men, but it takes a lot more sex with a lot more women. With women, I'm thinking maybe 10. I think the line of demarcation maybe 10. So yeah, that is a very, very, very good point. And that just goes to further prove the point that men and women do not handle sex differently. It takes us a lot more sex with a lot more women to become damaged.
Men will read this and bristle, just like I did when I used to read something that pushed back on the lie I'd built my entire identity around. Or maybe you're a trans or non-binary person reading this thinking, what quaint ideas about gender and sex this old trad con has.
Here we go.
And to that I'll say, it makes sense to me that the generation of young women who've experienced and borne witness to some of the worst side effects of unyoking sex from consequence and love that Perry meticulously outlines in her book, Rough Sex, Hookup Culture, and Ubiquitous Porn, would take a look around and decide, I'd rather be a man. Or more accurately, I'd rather not be a woman.
Broly's advocate says King Solomon also lost all of his mojo dealing with too many women. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes, sex with a lot of women can be damaging for men. But, dude, I'm telling you, it takes a crap load of women. I mean, dude, tens of thousands. It's got to take literally that many. Women, it's a fraction of that. If a woman has banged 50 guys, she's done. Like, she is screwed. She is screwed mentally. Cody Marshall, $5, says, men are made to release information and women are made men are made to release information and women are made to store information. There you go. There you go.
But maybe it's the inevitable conclusion to the sexual revolution. Today's youth are fed an even more dangerous lie than the one that was fed about loveless sex.
There you go.
I was told sex doesn't matter. They're being told by...
Wait a minute. You were sold... Wait, hold on. You were sold sex doesn't matter, but, sweetheart, you told us that you had mothers and aunts and a church telling you that sex before a marriage was wrong. You were told by your mothers and aunts and your friends and their family members and everyone in the church that you should hang on to your virginity as long as possible. Now you want to tell us in the same breath that you were sold a bad bill of goods? No, sweetheart. No. You just decided to do what was easier. You just decided to do what was easier. Look, man. Look, dude, women know they're not supposed to be sleeping around. They know it. They know it. They know it. It's inherent. It's biologically hardwired into us. They know that banging a bunch of guys is wrong. They know this. They just choose not to follow. That's it. This woman sat here and told us, hey, man, when I was a kid, my mother, my aunts, my church, my religion, everybody told me that, hey, you know what? Sex before a marriage was wrong. You got to hold on to your virginity. But now she wants to tell us that, well, it's not my fault. I was sold a bet. No, sweetie, no, You heard two messages. One message was easier to follow than the other, and you, like most modern women, decide to do what's easy, which is sleeping around. It's easy for women to sleep around. It's not easy for women to withhold themselves until marriage. It's not.
Biology doesn't matter. This is a tragedy. I'm not suggesting we return to some Victorian era notion of sex or some 1950s era ideal about gender roles. I'm now 43 years old, and I'm in the first truly healthy, intimate relationship in my life.
Stop the cap.
I feel sorry for her husband. I feel sorry for her husband. Can you imagine being this chick's husband and hearing that she has had sex with dozens of men? Can you imagine being this woman's husband and hearing her say that she does not regret some of the guys she's banged? Again, the lack of self-awareness with this woman is unbelievable. Listen, I get that she's trying to tell us, hey, listen, I've learned my lesson. It doesn't sound like she's learned her lesson. Doesn't sound like it. Yeah, I think she regrets sleeping around, but only because it did not get her the man she's with now. Because I can promise you, her husband is probably not someone she respects. Rocker21, $5, says, Donovan, I'm depressed because I haven't slept with 100 women yet. At 200, I'd be skipping down the street, singing and dancing like Fred Astaire. You better believe it. You better believe it. You better freaking believe it. You kidding me? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Guys, be sure to like the video, guys. If you like my channel, make sure you subscribe. If you have a strong opinion, whether you agree or not, make sure you drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. And last but not least, guys, share these videos with anyone who pees standing up and can use this content. Also, be sure to tune into the hashtag HowToRelationship podcast. On the hashtag HowToRelationship podcast, myself and the lovely and talented Devin discuss current events pertaining to relationships from RP perspective, as well as evergreen topics that will help people have better relationships. We also talk about certain elements of our relationship to give you guys a little bit of insight on what makes us tick and what makes our relationship work. You can tune in every Saturday and Sunday evening at 7 Eastern right here on the Donovan Sharpe YouTube channel. Also, make sure you download the Sharpe Stream app. It is absolutely free. It is available for iOS and Android. When you download the app, you can get access to all of my premium live content without paying a dime. my dating show breakdowns, exclusive live streams, and everything else that is not safe for YouTube. This means that you can watch all of my breakdowns of dating shows, movies, and so forth, and keep your greedy little hands on your own money. However, if you do want access to all of the replays, as well as the archive of the more than 20 seasons of dating shows and the 4 movies I've broken down, and over 30,000 hours of premium content not found anywhere else, become a Sharpe Stream member or a patron for less than 17 cents a day. As a Sharpe Stream member and or a patron, you also get access to the podcast versions of my live streams, like this one, which is all of the content without any of the small talk, the shilling, or me running my mouth about things you care nothing about. To sign up, go to sharpestream.com. Also, I am dropping my very first interactive ebook entitled How to Properly Vet Women for Relationships. I was going to drop it tomorrow, but we decided to make it interactive, so we've decided to push the release back. This is not going to be any ordinary book, gentlemen, okay? This ebook is going to be fully interactive, meaning that within the ebook, there will be a ton of audio and video to supplement the valuable information you're going to get. There will also be links to additional audio and video supplements, which makes this the best ebook I've ever done. The best part is that it's only going to be $13, guys, just $13, which is worth its weight in gold with all of the information packed within this interactive publication. If you want to be notified the minute it drops, go to howtorelationship.net or the link in the description, plug in your very best email, and you will enjoy the very first interactive ebook that will give you the knowledge to avoid the kinds of women who can literally destroy your life, like the woman on your screen. Holy smokes.
My second husband, we recently had a daughter. And in the wake of her birth, I've been thinking a lot about the conversations I'm going to have with her and the conversations I wish I could go back in time and have with young Bridget.
There we go.
I tell her, sex can be empowering when you're coming from a position of healthy self-esteem. If you're coming from a place of trauma or insecurity, casual sex won't heal that.
No, casual sex is bad, no matter what. No matter what position you're coming from, casual sex is bad. See, because now you have to define what let's go back and listen to that. See how she just contradicted herself here?
Than the one that was fed about loveless sex. I was told sex doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're being told biology doesn't matter. This is a tragedy. I'm not suggesting we return to some Victorian era notion of sex or some 1950s era ideal about gender roles. I'm now 43 years old.
See? Some 1950s ideal of gender roles. You see how she's weaving in the feminism? See how she's trying? She wants all the best bits of feminism to give her the choice to be a hoe, but then she regrets being a hoe.
And I'm in the first truly healthy, intimate relationship in my life with my second husband. We recently had a daughter. And in the wake of her birth, I've been thinking a lot.
Oh my God, it's a girl. Jesus Christ.
About the conversations I'm going to have with her and the conversations I wish I could go back in time and have with young Bridget. I'd tell her. Sex.
This is funny. If you were to go back and talk to young Bridget would have said, nah, it's not going to end. It's not going to be me. Then old Bridget would be like, I'm literally you. Yeah, but I might make different choices.
Sex can be empowering when you're coming from a position of healthy self-esteem.
Sex can be empowering when you're coming from a position of healthy self-esteem. What does that mean? What does that mean? It can be empowering when you come from a position of healthy self-esteem. Sex is not supposed to be empowering. It's supposed to be pleasurable. Who the hell wants to get empowered by sex? What the hell? Uh-oh, hang on, guys. I got a bug in here. Hold up. What the hell is that? Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. What the hell? Hold up. Hold up. I don't know what this thing is, but you got to go. Gotcha. I think he's in here. I totally just ruined my Flyers beanie. Yep, there he is. Still kicking around, but he's done. Okay, he's not getting out of there. Holy cannoli. What the hell is that? Yep. That's it. There it is. Crunch. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know where the hell that thing came from. All right.
If you're coming from a place of trauma or insecurity, casual sex won't heal that.
Do you see this? If you're coming from a place of trauma and insecurity, casual sex won't heal that. She's talking out of both sides of her mouth. She's still advocating for casual sex if it comes from a place of high self-esteem. No, casual sex is what causes low self-esteem. Unbelievable.
In fact, it might set you back and undermine any progress regarding your feelings of self-worth.
Might set you back?
If you know your value, you're less likely to sleep with someone who doesn't value you.
There you go. But guess what? As a young lady, you should have known your value. The world tells women they're valuable all the time. You just chose to ignore them because you thought that your value wouldn't change if you slept with a bunch of dudes. Dr. B84, $10 super chat says, keyword is second husband. I have yet to see a woman who is a 304 have a successful marriage. Dude, neither have I.
Cherish yourself and you will be...
Yep. Jixler1986 says, casual sex and self-esteem equals oxymoron logic. That's exactly right.
cherished. You shouldn't have to withhold sex for a man to respect you. He should respect you regardless. Sexual empowerment has nothing to do with how many people you do or don't sleep with. It has to do with how comfortable you are in your skin, no matter your decision.
No matter your decision. See, when women first start having sex, they have high self-esteem. Okay? Of course they have high self-esteem. It's the first time they have it. Somebody wants to have sex with me. But then they think, well, I'll have sex with another person that'll give me... No, it's a revolving door. It's a continuous cycle. Casual sex is not good for women, period. I don't care. It does not matter.
It's not about waiting until you're in love to have sex. It's about making sure that first you love yourself.
Oh, boy. See? It's not about waiting until you're in love to have sex. It's about first waiting until you love yourself. Well, dude, she just 86 this whole thing. Because women love themselves. Oh, you better believe it. Women have, women have, and again, I don't like to throw on the word narcissist, but the kind of self-esteem that women are running around here with, that's pretty serious. That's pretty serious.
Don't ignore that nagging gut instinct telling you sexual liberation leaves you feeling unfulfilled. You can still be sex positive and accept that for you, sex can't be liberated from intimacy and a meaningful relationship.
I'm going to open up the phone lines, guys. I'm going to open up the phone lines. 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. You have exactly 5 minutes to get into the queue. You have 5 minutes to get in the queue. If you're not in the queue in 5 minutes, you're not getting on. So be sure to call in right now if you have anything to say. 516-387-1987. I will start taking your phone calls in 5 minutes.
I regret being a slut. I regret it because I regret that those men can say they slept with me.
Yep.
Still, that's how I know I finally value myself. Every woman should feel this way. Sleeping with me is a privilege, and you have to be worthy.
You're right, sweetheart. But you just told the world you've slept with dozens of men. And women who have slept with dozens of men, you don't have to be worthy to fuck sluts, guys. You just have to be there and willing.
The reaction to this has been overwhelming. It went huge. It's, as of now, had almost 325,000 views. And that's not including just how much it's sept everywhere. As I mentioned, Ben Shapiro read it, and it's just made the rounds.
Yeah, now she's clout chasing.
And I have been hearing from women, hundreds of women who are writing me If you're a woman who wants to write me, please reach out, and you can write us at iampoliticallyhomeless@gmail.com is a good place to reach me with this kind of stuff. And mostly it's women just saying thank you for articulating what I felt or I haven't been able to articulate. I have a good example of this that I've been given permission to read. I know it's a few weeks old, but just because Bridget mentioned in this week's Dumpster Fire, I will too. Bridget's I Regret Being a Slut essay was seriously a turning point in my evolution as a grown woman. And I don't mean in a small way. It was like an Oprah aha moment for me. Coming both after the long and drawn-out breakup of a complicated months-long relationship and my 40th.
All right, I don't care about all of that. So, my final thoughts on this. I think she definitely regrets being a slut. I think she does. But the problem, guys, the problem with her, the problem with her logic is if she had it to do again, she would do it again. Like, listen, she's got the right title, she's got the wrong message. She doesn't regret being a slut for the reason she should regret being a slut. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? Like, she regrets being a slut. How can I put this? She regrets being a slut because she thinks she went about it the wrong way. But throughout this reading of this letter, all she does is blame shift. It's somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's fault that she became a slut. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. You can also, if you would like to jump on,
90 seconds.
Jump in the Zoom link. You now have 90 seconds to get in the queue. If you get into the queue within 90 seconds, you will get on the show. Let's go to our first caller. Let's go to Jay Blaze in Maine. What's going on, Jay Blaze?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
All of these are examples of why we cannot give women power. Like, who is it?
60 seconds.
Coach Berg Adams said women are children with breasts.
Yep.
And we have an education system controlled by women. 90 to 95% of teachers are now women.
Yep.
And we have the lowest test scores in any country.
Yep.
We have a sexual market decided by women, and most guys and women are single.
Yep.
We have birth control and Noitroba, all controlled by women, and we have our population below replacement.
Unbelievable.
So I don't know what else people can say.
Yeah, I think,
10 seconds.
And thanks for the call, Jay Blaze. Like, what this comes down to is women created this environment. Women created this environment. They wanted this, and they got it. Devin in the chat says, Slutageddon. That's very interesting. Let us go to Midas Apprentice in North Carolina. Midas Apprentice in North Carolina, you're on Live at Donovan. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on with you, Playboy?
What's up, bro?
I just had a question. I had a question that's a little off topic, but I was just wondering what your opinion on this was. I've noticed that women who have a hyphenated last name, that those women end up getting divorced or they've already been divorced.
Yep.
Have you noticed this as well?
Yeah, women who have hyphenated last names these are the kinds of women who do not fully submit to their husbands.
Correct.
Right. Any woman who does not take her husband's last name and only his last name is literally telling you, I am coming into this relationship expecting it to fail. That's what that is. They hyphenate their last name to show the world that I am strong and empowered. I didn't have to give up my part of my legacy or my part of my heritage or my family name for a man. In other words, they're not interested in starting their own family with a man. No, they want to keep a part of that, right? Jixler 1986 says hyphen is rebellion. That's exactly right. And then, of course, you have some men out here who actually take their wives' last names, which is an absolute joke. But yes, Women with hyphenated last names are literally telling the world, my marriage is going to end. It is a mathematical certainty. I agree 100%.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right. Midas Apprentice in North Carolina. Appreciate that very much. Not a bad show for the first time around. Yeah, BJ347 says Jada Pinkett Smith. There you go. There you go. There you go. There's Skylar Diggins Smith in the NBA, right? Like, it's just listen, this is how women are these days, man. And it's a damn shame. It really is. It really, really is. Well, that is going to do it for this, the 875th edition of TSR Live. Again, guys, be sure to sign up for Patreon or Sharpe Stream to get access to all of my live dating show breakdowns and movie breakdowns. And again, don't forget, this Friday, I'll be dropping my first interactive ebook, How to Properly Vet Women for Relationships. It's going to come out on Friday, October 14th. If you want to get on the waiting list to be notified the moment it drops, go to howtorelationship.net or go to the link in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.